Carrie Hummingbird and Valerie Shepard live on Skills Not Pills Movement on this gorgeous Friday, May 18th. And I welcome you all to be here with us today. I was so excited. And look at Valerie. Valerie's broadcasting from the beach.
Yes. One of my favorite places on the planet to be is near the ocean, and that's where I am.
I love the ocean. I love it too. I live vicariously with you right now by the ocean.
Come in, bring all that energy. We'll just do an energy transfer.
I want the energy transfer. I love the beach. So you guys, it's so exciting because Valerie is an amazing individual. She is going to talk to us a little bit today about how to raise your consciousness so you can live happy to be me. And, you know, tomorrow, actually, on Skills Not Pills, on Saturday the 19th, is when Valerie's recorded teaching goes live on Skills Not Pills Summit. So you can actually tune in, like sign up today at skillsnotpills.com, and you will actually, skillsnotpillsmovement.com, excuse me, and you will actually get Valerie's interview tomorrow in your email box at 7 a.m. Central. So
Do it.
yes, do it right now. But in the meantime, you can enjoy our conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about how to be happy no matter what is going on in your life. And so Valerie has a lot to share about this. She is a catastrophic stroke survivor, is inspirational keynote speaker, university lecturer, and CEO of the Heart of Living Vibrantly Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And she has a #1 Amazon bestseller, Living Happy to Be Me, to guide young people and adults, executives and entrepreneurs to happiness, success, and fulfillment. And it's the centerpiece of her transformational practice. And she actually has a partnership with the University of California, Irvine, where she's piloting a consciousness-raising content in a curriculum called Living 101, Being Happy and Whole. We need stuff like this out there in the world. Valerie, thank you for doing this work in the world and enjoying yourself in the process. Look, everybody, she's enjoying herself. See how happy she is to be me?
Thank you so much, Carrie. I'm really grateful to be a part of this summit. And you know, why am I doing this here? Because I truly believe that one of the issues with being happy is that we are trying to disintegrate our lives. Like we have a personal and a professional and a kids, a thing that we do to the family and stuff that we do alone. And you know, part of my message is you can't really do that. No wonder we're disintegrating. We need to bring our lives together. We're the same person in all those spaces and trying to be whole as that same person no matter where I go. And so for me, it's kind of like, I need to do this interview. I want to do this interview, and I need to go to the beach, and I want to be at the Blues Festival. And so they can happen together as long as I've got, and with technology today, I can do anything. So maybe not on the top of Mount Everest, but you know, here I am, and I'm taking a stand for bringing your worlds together, like that alignment in the center of your chest, like at your heart space. Bring it all into a beautiful stew.
I love that. I love that because it's true. The technology affords us that ability to really kind of pull apart how we think about our lives in these like silos or containers, and like just kind of get rid of that model and think about it now in terms of flow and moments and how they all weave together.
Yes, and for me, you know, it's like I'm not, there's a big train going by. I'm not just one thing at one time through one channel, you know. I know what I'm here on the planet to do, and I'm doing it all the time and learning from what I'm doing all the time and embodying what I'm teaching all the time. So to me, that's how we create the highest level of consciousness, conscious awareness, present moment engagement that brings more happiness to the planet.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, that's part of the message that you and I talked about another time, where you realized that you had a lot of wisdom to share. And I think you had just written your book, and then you actually got tested in being the deeper embodiment of all that wisdom. Tell us a little bit more about how you've been your best student of your own teachings?
Sure. The stroke has been a really awesome opportunity for me to double down. I say, like from poker or from blackjack, double down on my bet, on um, the teachings that I deliver, that I share around how to be happy and fulfilled and whole, feel whole, in spite of whatever the five senses can read around us. You know, we're really good at noticing things and sometimes and like speaking out our judgments about them. And that's not all there is on the planet, what we can see and experience with our five senses. And so when I had this stroke, it's it's coming up on 3 years now on June 5th, and I am still experiencing the aspects of the stroke that are probably in my list of things I don't want to experience. You know, I have nerve stuff going on all the time, and I'm still learning how to kind of get my balance and use my body. In fact, I was thinking last night, I don't remember what my body felt like before the stroke.
Wow.
I really don't. I was trying to think, is this the way it, I know this isn't the way it moved, but I don't know what it felt like. It's like that is so long ago. And what this has really given me an opportunity to do is to say, and even so, I'm as happy as I can be. And even so, I'm finding a way to be where I want to be and do what I want to do. And even so, there is more. There's more to my life than the physical body. There is more to my life than one moment of not so great experience.
Yeah, because it's really fluid, this life of ours. And I think what you're experiencing in your own body is the truth of that. That we can make up stories in our minds and try to hold on to the past, but actually that's already evaporated.
Well, you know, it's really interesting that you say that. In my book, I have a step 2 is about shaking up and releasing the things that aren't serving you. And there's a little part of that section where I talk about like all of your great memories from the past. And people are like, why should I let those go? And I said, well, it's not that you shouldn't think about them ever again. It's that you have to be careful anchoring in on them, because what you're doing then is trying to create today to match that. And there are two things wrong with that. One is you're carrying an assumption that that was the happiest you've ever been, and you might want to surpass that, even though it was fantastic. But the other thing is, if for some reason what's going on now doesn't match that, how do you feel? Like, how is your present moment experience impacted? And would that be different if you weren't anchored so much on trying to match it? Like, I've got to have a mirror image, and that was so much fun. And you know, this is the I don't know, 7th or 8th time I've been at the Doheny Blues Festival in Dana Point, California. This is the 3rd time I've camped, and it's very different experience, and I'm having a blast. And it doesn't have to be the same or better than the last time. Just I can experience in the absolute, and that's what that's all about. Like, can you let go of things that are holding you in a vibration that, even if it was good, may not be serving you?
May not be serving you. Yes. You know, I know this one, Valerie. I know this one really well because there was a time in my life that there was a brief time that I was intensely doing this, but I went through this experience like probably 39 to 42-ish, 41, a couple years where I kept reliving a moment I had over and over and over and over. And I wasn't happy unless I was reliving that moment in my mind, like again and again. And I was getting really upset because I could feel it slipping away, even though I kept trying to bring it back. It kept going. And I was like, no, come back. And it kept going. And it really kept me in a holding pattern. Like it created a lot of dis-ease in my life and in my mind and in my body and in my being because I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it be. I had to keep trying to pull it back into the now.
It can be very disruptive. You know, it's really a blessing that I can't really truly remember what my body worked, how it worked, because I all I have is to deal with the way my body's working now, and um, many times it's not what I want, and at the same time I can still have a really great experience with it. I'm, you know, learning how to take care of the things that show up. What do I do about the nerve tingling? What do I do when my right hand doesn't work? My left hand's gotten really proficient, and you know, I'm ambidextrous now, and to make that okay. You know, when I first had the stroke, someone suggested that I join a stroke support group because I wasn't sure where this was all going, and I did, and I went a couple times, and then vowed to myself I'm never going back there. And it was because the experience I had, this doesn't have to be true, but the experience that I had of my time in the stroke support group was that the, many of the people there were anchored in on what they could no longer do before. And they were in lamentation, anger, judgment, and frustration toward the body. Like, this is your vessel. Like, it needs your love no matter what's going on. And I don't think anyone wants some catastrophic physiological thing to happen. And when it does, like, how do we greet that with love and acceptance, even while we figure out the best way to change it? I mean, my acceptance of the way the body's working right now doesn't mean I don't care. I'm doing a lot to do as much recovery as I possibly can. We're 3 years in, and I don't know where this is going, but I'm way better than I was before. And I feel like there's more to come. So I just focus on that. Like, part of happiness to me is, even while you're sitting in the, this is not what I want, whatever that is, physiological, relationships, your job, whatever that is, this is not what I want. While you're sitting in that little stew, can you stay focused on, this is what I want? Like, only look at the contrast in order to fuel what you want, but not to sit in what you don't. And that is the biggest challenge, I think, for a lot of people that I want to support and serve. And I know you do too. You know, the hummingbird lights on a flower and then quickly moves on to the next one.
Right.
Like, you can go back there. You have to feel, I have to feel the sadness. I have to feel the fear. There's real fear sometimes about, what if I stay this way? Like, am I ever going to get to wear my sexy shoes again and really boogie down on the dance floor? One of my favorite expressions of myself was on the dance floor. And so there's some real fear and sadness can come up with that. And I have to feel that. That's real. That's true. That's what's going on for me. But it's not the totality. And I'm not going to hang out there for very long. And so that's the part of the message is, you have to feel all of your emotions. You just don't have to become them, especially when they're low vibration and they're not really serving you to go where you want to go. Stay in the potentiality of what could still show up, as long as you stay there in the potentiality, but not in the, it's not here yet, it's not here yet. You can't be in lack and limitation and create abundance. It doesn't happen. They're on two different radio frequencies.
Yeah, I think it's the resistance to experiencing that uncomfortable thing that makes people the way, right? So here's, I
Yes,
want
yes, yes, yes. I was talking to my students about this the other day, and it was
yeah.
like, there are four things, and the one that keeps people out of their joy and their biggest self is the unwillingness to experience discomfort.
Yeah, and it's the discomfort of the thing that is currently true. But you know, here's the thing I've learned. I don't know. I did 12-step program for a little while for love addiction because I was addicted to love and I had to finally admit that. I mean, who isn't, right? But I was in an unhealthy way addicted to
Didn't
love.
we,
So
didn't we come here for that? But yes, we want to do it in the healthy way.
I wanted to be in love in a healthy way and
Yes,
not depend on other people to give it to
yes,
me, right?
yes,
And so I
yes,
went to a
yes, yes,
group.
yes, 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 yes.
I went to a
Self-love is
group.
it.
I know. And I was like, I went to this group because I thought, okay, I'm definitely having a not healthy relationship with it. So I'm going to go and be part of this group. And with any 12-step program, what's interesting is that it's like there's this idea, almost like this is going to be the rest of your life because you're just going to have to keep working on this thing. So I want to debunk that for just a moment. I want to debunk that myth. It's not the rest of your life unless you make it the rest of your life. It's you can transform. And transformation means that you can actually face the thing, go to the heart of it, deal with it, be with it, accept it, move forward through it, and then transform. And now that is no longer like your reality. You have a different relationship with whatever the impetus was. At the same time as I say that, I want to say what a useful practice it was to go to that 12 step and to witness myself through the face of all these other people sitting in the room. Because every time they would say something, I would go, oh my gosh, that's me too. Or
Mm.
they would say that story and I would say, oh, I so resonate with that. Wow. Okay, that's a good reflection. Now I have a chance to go look at that thing in me and see where it lives. Like, where does it live in my being? And then I can clean that up and decide if I want that or I don't want that.
Yeah, and I'm so with you kind of to a point. I will say that um, the things that I teach, I do say this is a lifestyle. I call it a light style, L-I-G-H-T, a light style. We coined that term when we put the title of my book together. And it's from the realization that this is not a once and you're done kind of thing
Oh,
from
no.
my perspective. This is I, I live and breathe and express the truth of me through these principles, through these teachings. So in that sense, it is for me a 365-day, 24/7 exercise for as long as I choose to be on the planet and express this, whatever wants to come through me. And what I also believe that you're saying that I agree with wholeheartedly, it doesn't have to be this arduous journey. You know,
Mm-mm.
I've had clients tell me, I kind of am afraid to delve under the surface of this surface thing that I see myself doing because I'm afraid I'm going to touch some pocket of pain and it's going to run so deep I'm never going to get out of it. And like, that's not that, like, how does happiness come out of that? And so I so understand that. Like I said, the journey I'm on started almost 3 years ago, and I don't know where the end is. I'm just still walking the journey. So I get that. And I believe that what you're saying too is that, like, we get to decide by the way we evaluate it, by the judgments we bring, by what lens, like, put my glasses on, what lens am I looking through when I evaluate this moment in my life? Am I seeing it through the upset and the hurt and the diminishment and the I'm not worthy and I'm not lovable and why is this happening to me? Or am I seeing this through interesting? So this is the season of my life when I get to try on other things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning different things about me. I'm actually learning them differently. I have different angels coming into my life. They have the face of Carrie Hummingbird. They have the face of this person. They have the face of that person. But I know they're my angels, just earth angels talking to me about me, for me, from me, to me. So this dance that we get to do, like the hummingbird, you know, what are our flowers that we're alighting on? Like, what are our flowers? So for me, I know that one of the flowers is this idea of um, unconditional 24/7, 365 self-love, no matter what's showing up from me. Like, and I haven't always been that way. I have put my body through a lot as an NCAA athlete and other things, really pushing myself. I grew up in the age of no pain, no gain.
Oh, yeah, I know
And,
that one.
and that didn't always allow me to make good decisions that served my body and what it needed at the time. And I'm so, oh my gosh, light years better at doing that. And it feels good. You know, it feels good to say, yep, I'm going to bed now, or yep, I'm taking a nap, or other times saying, no, I think I'm going to try this one more time.
You know, and I want to clarify too, like you're exactly right. Like the journey continues with whatever the thing is you're here to learn, right? That classroom continues. It just continues in a different, I like to call them classrooms. So like I've been in the classroom on love. Like I've been in the classroom on, can I love myself? Or do I need someone else to love me in order for me to be loved? And then the classroom also includes lessons on what if so and so that I deeply love doesn't love me back the way I want to be loved? Then how do I love them? Like, can I love them unconditionally? So I've had this is an ongoing lesson in this life. And part of the time I did the 12 step, right? Because I was really in a nasty little place of like seeing my deep, dark, yucky pattern, like that I didn't want that part anymore. I wanted to transform that part of my being so I could show up with more love unconditionally. And so I got there and I was like, okay, I'm good being alone now. So as soon as I was good being alone, then my next soulmate shows up, my love partner, Akeem. And now we get this chance to have this love partnership. So it's been going strong for almost 2 years now, or more actually, more than 2 years. And we're having a blast. And I have some more lessons. Like I'm learning so much more, but they're different lessons than I learned in the 12 step. So,
Absolutely.
it's like it evolves. And now I'm getting a chance to learn that lesson through my 18-year-old son, who a lot of you know now, like had to leave the house, and it's been breaking my heart, the things that are going on with us. And so I've had this like, can I be a mother and be unconditionally loving towards my son, even if he's just absolutely horrid to me? He's being mean and he's being an 18-year-old and he's launching bad. It's like he's the rocket launching and all the jet fuel is like coming down on Mama Earth. And I'm like, like this hurts. Can I totally still love him for the journey he's on? And I've come to this place of acceptance in myself. It's like, yes, I can. But these are all lessons. And I didn't act perfect the whole way through this. I haven't acted perfectly. I've had to return to my old patterns, things I used to do. And because it got more intense, it got more vulnerable. It got a layer like right against my heart, like my son, my baby, like Spirit's like, okay, now here's a good test. Can you really bring your unconditional love when it's your baby that's causing you this pain? Can you bring your love? Oh, Valerie. Woo! It goes on, it's just deeper
Well,
and
that's the
deeper.
definition, unconditional love. If you really want to do it, that's what it means. Um, Unconditional love. I have a quick story, if I may.
Yes.
So last night, this is present moment awareness for me. Last night there was an emergency here, and I was awakened at like 3 in the morning by loud, agitated voices. I'm literally sleeping in a tent, and so I got up and I went to the building that has the showers and the restrooms. And as I was coming out, a very agitated young man came running up to me and said, "Do you have a cell phone?" And so the first thing that I was feeling was fear, like, what's this about? And I said, no. And I didn't have it on me, it was in my tent. And I said, what do you need a cell phone for? And he said, we need to call 911. And I said, what's going on? And he showed me next to their truck a woman who was laying on her back on the ground. And so I got my phone, we called 911. That's not the story. The interesting thing was that as this woman was being, I hope that she survived. She was not very responsive, and it looked like an overdose of some sort. Um, that when all the different sheriffs and fire people and were all here, and they were dispersing, and I was, checking. I'd never called 911 before. I was like, what do I do now? Do you need my phone? What do I do? And they were like, no, you're okay. So I was getting ready to go back to bed, and they said, sorry we disturbed you. Sorry you had to be disturbed by this. And I thought that was an interesting thing to say. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to bring all the love I can in this moment. And I turned around and I said, you know what? It is so never an inconvenience to give someone what they need to survive. Like, I never thought of it as an inconvenience. I just was there praying, like, Spirit, this person doesn't know what they've done to themselves. That I don't think, even people who we see doing things they know aren't going to serve them, I don't think it's them. It's not the right-minded them. It's the conditioned them, the lower self. That's not who they really are. And so I was very grateful to be able to go into compassion and tolerance and love. And I this morning said, I'm so grateful that her angels knew my angels. They nudged me while I was sound asleep, and I got up and answered the call. And so I'm with you, Carrie. I feel like there are moments every day when we are given an opportunity to learn this lesson of what unconditional love looks like. And yeah, sometimes it's our kin, which can be very difficult. Sometimes it's somebody we feel like we've poured so much into, they ought to get it by now.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like that with my students at UCI, like, get it, get it, get it. But that's not the truth. The truth is they're on their own journey and they get it as their life unfolds for them, not as I deem it appropriate. And so um, it's like you can learn things by just talking about them and filling your head with concepts. And um, the other way that you can learn is to actually be in the situation and make different choices. If you want your life to be different, you have to be in a different expression of you in your life. And then through laws of attraction, law of reflection, law of karma, everything has to shift. It has to. You cannot live outside universal law. So when you align with law, you just look at yourself and go, okay, this isn't serving me. I want to go over there. Let's play. Like, how do I do it? This
I love
weekend, I'm
that.
going to go play at the beach and see what comes up for me. And how do I get to show who I am in what comes up at the beach?
I love that, Valerie, as usual. And you guys get a sample now of the incredible wisdom that is inside this woman and that you see glowing before you. Just such a beautiful, radiant person you are, such a radiant soul coming through you're beaming out, just like all over the place. And there's so much more, that you actually share on your interview with us about your journey with your stroke and how you felt and how you coped with that experience, because I'm sure, as you guys can imagine, that is not an easy experience to go through, be basically being trapped inside your body. And so I want you guys to hear that. I want you to hear that story and hear her wisdom about how she navigated out of that journey and where she is today. So
Yes.
subscribe, because it's going out tomorrow. It's like the
Yes.
18th today. There, and you guys, if you're like, well, I've already missed so much of the summit and I'm not. No, you get a replay period on June 1st and 2nd. So just set aside those days. Just know that you're going to get to watch all the interviews again for free. And if you want to support the movement, you can do that too. And I will totally welcome that. I say yes. I graciously say yes. So,
Yeah.
Valerie.
I mean, very famous African American tennis player, I think the first African American male to be ranked #1 in the world, was Arthur Ashe. And Arthur Ashe said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. So it doesn't matter what you've missed of the summit. It matters that there's still summit available to you and there are replays available to you. And even after hearing this juicy, delicious conversation, there's more
There's
for you.
more.
There's more. And I really encourage and invite you to come in, like dive in. Don't dip your toe in the water.
No.
Dive in and see what's there for you. If you're called this far, it's probably because your angels are conspiring to create a wicked opening for you, and you just have to step in.
Yeah, and if you've been seeing hummingbirds or butterflies, that's also your guide. So
Just saying.
I was just saying, if
Just
you're like,
saying.
wow, there's so many hummingbirds around me all the time right now. There's a
Yabba
reason
dabba
for
doo.
that.
Yabba dabba doo.
So sign up for this summit, and you get Valerie's interview tomorrow on the 19th of May. Such a beautiful day. While she's enjoying, and just think of her, because as you watch the interview tomorrow, you know that she's enjoying herself at the blues concert on the beach
Yes.
and having a fabulous time.
Yes, and the beach is a really interesting physical therapy place because it's a lot harder to have my balance and to walk on the sand. So it's kind of a multifaceted experience for me.
It is. It's a good challenge. And also sleeping in a tent, another great challenge. So
And I can hear
congratulations.
the shore when I can hear the waves crashing when I go to sleep, and that is like,
Oh, so
what a
restorative.
lullaby.
Oh, gosh, I want to go to the beach. I love sleeping on the beach. It's my favorite thing. I've actually slept on the beach just with my sleeping bag,
Yes, under
just
the
with the
stars,
waves. Like, because the wave and
nothing like
the
it.
stars and the moon above. Oh my gosh, the best.
And the moon was a little sliver last night, and Venus was bright. It was amazing. It's really beautiful.
You're getting all that starlight. Soak it up, Valerie. Soak it up.
Yes, ma'am. That's
Okay.
what I'm here for.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful glowing radiance with us today and your beach. I'm just like, I'm going to have to watch this back just to soak up the beach. I feel it. I really do. It feels good. So thank
Good.
you for being there and sharing that with us, that beautiful environment.
You're welcome. And I'm really grateful to have had this time with you and our audience. And yay, yay, yay.
Yay. All right. Take the
Yay
journey,
for the
people.
summit, and blessings to all the other summit experts. It's an amazing group of people with some wisdom that is awesome. I've been enjoying it, and everybody get in and get busy listening and opening and enriching the self.
Listening, opening, and enriching, and starting to believe that anything is possible because that's what Hummingbird is here to teach us. Anything is possible.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, love you guys. Love you, Valerie.
Love you, Carrie.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.